Hi friends, Sarah here from gracingmyspace.com. Today we're gonna do a little makeover. So a couple of years ago, Erin and I took our mudroom that was existing and completely gutted it and revamped the space to make it work for our family. The previous owners had put in lockers, but it is such a small space that they were not functional. And so I completely redid it and we made it what it is today. And I'm gonna show you that process since we've already done that part of the project so I can catch you up. And then today, I'm gonna do a little mini makeover on it just to show you how some really simple changes can increase functionality and can also increase the aesthetic. So first, let's walk through what we did in our previous makeover of this mudroom. The previous owners had installed these wooden lockers and they were just not functional because it only left about a foot of floor space for us to walk in and actually put our coats in the lockers, hang things up, get our shoes on, etc. So we ripped out the lockers. We ripped out a built-in bench because it was not functional since the lid had to lift in order to access whatever was inside of it. We couldn't put anything on top of it. It was hard to use it for seating. So we ripped everything out, completely gutted the space. I installed tongue and groove pine on the walls. I made peg racks to go around the entire room so that we had lots of storage for coats, for hats, for backpacks, and all of the bags and things that we use on a daily basis. Thankfully, we had leftover flooring from our dining room project so that I could replace the flooring with what was existing, where we removed the lockers and the bench. I reinstalled all of the trim, and then I did a really fun IKEA hack that saved us $2,000. When we started the mudroom project, I had contacted our cabinet maker from our kitchen remodel and asked him to give me a quote for a simple built-in in the space where the built-in bench used to be. And the quote came back much higher than expected, so I headed to IKEA. I searched the IKEA website for hours trying to find pieces that could stack on top of each other to become a cabinet that were the exact dimensions that I had for this built-in space. And thankfully, they had pieces that fit. I stacked a TV stand, an upper kitchen cupboard, and a console, one on top of the other, attached them all together, and created my own built-in. I will put links to the entire mudroom remodel in the description so that you can go check it out for yourself and get all the details. That is the absolute favorite aspect of my mudroom remodel. It is ridiculous that I love it so much, but this automatic light bulb is motion censored. It comes on its own when we walk in the door. We don't have to, if we're carrying stuff, we don't have to flip a switch. We don't have to fumble to access the light. It comes on its own, and then after 20 seconds of no movement, it goes off on its own, and it is a lifesaver. I'll link it in the description for you. First thing, I'm gonna repaint this door. Since it's black, it shows every single mark, all the dirt, and so I'm gonna lighten it up, make it a little bit more cohesive because I'll show you, but this is actually open to the entire open concept portion of our home, so everybody can see the black yucky and everybody can see the mudroom mess. So from our kitchen, you can see it is a tight little hallway here, and let's walk into the mudroom. As you can see from the images before, the lockers used to be right here. And so with the lockers coming out about this far, this is how much space we had to walk in here, put our things in the lockers, and then shuffle back out. That's a family of 4. So I didn't pick up in here. This is how our mudroom looks on a daily basis. It's completely open to the rest of our home. And we use these DIY peg racks like crazy. They're amazing storage. This layout change that we did from the first remodel worked really well. Ideally, someday I would love to actually close this off with a door of some kind so that it's hidden from the rest of the house. But for now, we're gonna make it feel a little bit more cohesive with the aesthetics of the rest of the house. I'm gonna paint the door, the trim, and the walls all the same color to make it feel more intentional, like it's a design focal point, rather than just me trying to mask the fact that our mudroom is open for everyone to see. And I think that that'll be a pretty good compromise for right now until I can figure out the door situation where I can actually close it off and have it be a hidden mess. All right, so I'm actually gonna start with the door. I'm using Behr Scuff Defend. The color is called Perfect Taupe. I'm sure that there is some very specific way that experts would tell you to paint a door, but I always paint, if it's paneled door, the panels first, and then I come back and I roll the flat surfaces, and that seems to give it the best finish. A couple of tips: try and feather out like I just did around the panel so that when you come back through and roll, you don't have any ridges. Try and feather out any brush strokes, and then when you are putting your first glob of paint on there, don't do it in the corners because then excess builds up in the corners and it causes drips. So start in the middle of a panel and feather out your paint into the corners rather than starting there. One of the things that I think so many people end up getting stuck on in designing their home is doing it right the first time. Ideally, I would love to just close the doors up. But until I can figure that out, I want to make it work in the transition period. And there's nothing wrong with doing small tweaks here and there, improving a space little by little rather than doing something big all at once that's your final outcome. Instead, I can improve the space for now until I can figure out the final fix down the road. First coat is down on the door. It is a light color covering black, so it'll definitely need 2 coats. But I wanted to share a quick tip because I have been doing DIY projects and sharing them with followers for 5 years now, and every year that I do a painting project, I share this tip and someone still doesn't know it. So for all you out there who don't know yet, quick tip: make sure you use saran wrap or use a grocery bag, something plastic, and wrap your rollers and your paintbrushes in between coats because it will preserve them, it will keep the paint wet, and then you don't have to wash out and reuse your brushes or rollers. You can do this, wrap it up in saran wrap, like so, and you can even put it in the fridge for like a week. And when you pull them out, they will still be wet and still be able to use if you're not able to complete a project all in 1 or 2 days. We're gonna go into the mudroom now. I'm gonna show you a quick tip for how to trim out with a brush without taping. So first tip for painting trim without tape is to get this brush. I will link it for you in the description. It is a Worcester short handle, flexible, and it is angled. Makes all the difference. Again, load your brush about yay much. Press it on, pull down away from the ceiling, and then see how it's like splayed out when you put pressure on it? Do this, draw it along the top. And then come back through and do this. And it gives you a clean edge every time. All right, I've got all of the trim painted, and now I'm starting on the dozens of pegs that I have. I love them for storage, they're amazing, but man, painting these, that's not gonna be fun. This may be the worst kind of room to paint because not only do I have pegs, but I also have all of these grooves in between each board from the tongue and groove. So this is why I waited so long to repaint this room, but it'll be worth it. Let's get some paint on these walls. All right, I have the room painted first coat. I'm gonna do the trim around the door. Once I did the trim on this side, it made this white trim stick out, and I feel like it makes the door look cheaper, even though it is a cheap door and it's pretty standard. But wait until you see what happens when I take the white trim that's around the door, paint it the same color as the trim that's next to it. It's going to transition it from doorway to like built-in intentional space. Didn't that make such a big difference? Now I gotta do another coat of everything. Yay. Are you ready to see how it turned out? The paint color itself is not drastically different from the original paint color, but the big difference maker came in when I painted all of the trim the same color as the walls. I painted all of the doorway trim. I painted the trim on the floor, the trim on the ceiling, the trim around the garage door. We painted that the same color, and it just made the whole space feel a lot more cohesive. If you're curious on the entire process of our original remodel, I will put all of the links in the description, including how I did the IKEA hack, how I did these DIY peg racks, the full tutorial for those, as well as the tongue and groove updates. I also have a really awesome resource for you. If you subscribe to my email newsletters, I will be sending you a downloadable paint finishes guide that just helps you understand which finish is appropriate for which kind of project. It's really easy just to download to your phone, have quick reference when you go to the hardware store, and help you with those DIY projects. Thanks for hanging with me during this project. It was fun to do something that is small but impactful, and it just goes to show that switching a paint color can make a big difference. Painting your trim can make a big difference. Painting your doors can make a big difference. And all of it cost under $50 for a gallon of paint and the supplies needed. And now I feel like I have a new mudroom again. Thanks so much for hanging with me during this project. Make sure and tap the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time.